Hello everyone, welcome back to another Python tutorial, and this time I'll be explaining another NumPy function called arange. Alright, so arange is kind of similar to linspace, but first let's get our NumPy in here as np. Alright, so first I'm going to show the normal way of doing what arange would do using normal stuff you can find in other languages. So how you would do that, basically we'll have a for loop and also an array. So let's call this for loop array. And then for I in range 10, so that goes from 0 to 9 basically with an increment of 1. That's the default. We can have for loop array dot append I, and then we can print that out. Print for loop array, and let's see what happens. We get every number or integer from 0 to 9, and arange basically helps to speed up this process, and it gives you an array instead of a list. So this is actually a Python list, but NumPy allows you to get actual arrays like in other languages, although the differences between them are very small. Alright, so basically you can write what we just wrote in one line. So we can have arange array equals to np.arange 10. Basically you would type whatever you type inside of range to get this result, and then we can print that out. So you can see that the results are very similar, except there's no commas in this arange array, and that's not really an issue because you can just refer to them by their index. For example, let's get the second index inside of arange array, and then we do like 2 for the second index. So you can see 0, 1, 2, that's exactly what it should be. So there's not really a big difference between lists and arrays. They function the same, and a lot of the time you won't even be changing any values inside of them unless you're using like a wide scope function that's used by NumPy. So as you can see, we used to have like 3 lines, and now with NumPy arange we can just shrink that down to 1 line. Now let's see some other kinds of convenient things that you can do. So you can go from 1 to 10, and then the increment you can set by yourself. You can also set the type. So dtype you can set it to float. That might be in quotation marks actually. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, so you get the... Oh, let me delete that. Alright, so you get like the dot afterwards. That means that it's a float, or the decimal place. You can also set the increment right after the end or the stopping value. So you can do like 0.5. Alright, so we got 0 to 9. And then here we have 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and it goes on to 9.5. And that's about it for this video on numpy.arange. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.